is there ever a time where a cliffhanger does not need, right, a follow-up game? Or is there a time where a cliffhanger needs a sequel? When we see a cliffhanger, when do we say that it needs a follow-up?
See, for me, cliffhangers, I mean, I like to have sequels and things to movies and games and stuff because I'm a nosy person. I just want to know what happened after.
Yeah.
Like, I want to know the fallout of everything.
Fallout?
No. But
Fallout?
I read this story in school once. I don't remember the name. I think it might have been like a Greek mythology type thing.
You're married to a Greek god.
No.
It's me.
Anyway.
I'm a Greek god.
But it ended. Now, please don't quote me on this. I don't remember everything. I have one of the worst memories.
Yes. I can attest.
But I remember it was this ending, and he was like, the main character was in this arena, like one of those Greek arenas.
Right.
And at the very end, it's like, and then the gate opened, and it was either going to be something that he could beat easily, or something that was just going to maul him to death.
Oh,
and
fancy.
It just said, and the gate opened, and that was the end. And you never found out what happened to him. And we talked about it in class because it was an English class. We got to talk about symbolism. Yeah. So we had to talk about it, and my teacher was like, "That type of ending, the writer wants you to choose the ending. It allows you to use your imagination.
Yes.
And what you thought, and it's letting you choose because there's no follow up. There's nothing. It doesn't continue or anything. It's just the writer wants you to decide what happened.
Right.
So
I like that.
So that's sometimes when we talk about like cliffhangers, like, oh, do they need a follow up? I honestly don't think any cliffhangers need a follow up. I think it makes us want a follow up.
Yeah.
And it leaves the gate open for one.
Mm-hmm.
But when it comes to that stuff, I always think of that story and how nothing needs a follow up because that allows our creativity to run wild.
Yeah, and I can definitely agree with that. And as you were talking about that, it made me think about the ending to the first John Wick movie.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not going to spoil it, but the ending behind John Wick, the very first John Wick, was a nice ending where it was open-ended. Anything could have happened. And it wasn't even a cliffhanger like what you described.
Yeah.
That wasn't John Wick wasn't really the cliffhanger.
No.
But you could just leave it to just like saying like, if you want any closure, find out for yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And I liked that about John Wick. And then they made 2 and 3. And I was like, is this really necessary?
Yeah, but 3 was really good.
3 was amazing. I loved
really
John Wick
good.
3. I know some people were like, oh, it was really cheesy. It was really corny.
But it was so good.
Yeah. And
it was amazing cheese.
What?
It was amazing cheese. They said it's cheesy, but it was good cheese.
It was Gouda.
Gouda.
Anyways, but yeah, and I think we can end there because, you know, you hit the nail on the head.
I'm just that good.
Yeah. But yeah, I think a good cliffhanger that needs a sequel can't be begged for, you know, and I see it all the time with both movies and video games, and they set up an ending like, hey, publishers, if you want to know the end, money, please.
Yeah.
And it's like, stop it. But, and this brings me to my next point. A good follow-up game, it can't be something that is begged for by the fans or even the publisher or even the game developer. And what game that really brings it to mind is Force Unleashed 2. That game was hot garbage. It really was. I remember when that first came out, and if you played the Force Unleashed, the ending was fantastic. Like it didn't have a cliffhanger. It didn't leave you open ended. It set up Episode 4 of the Star Wars saga. Episode 4 being A New Hope. It set it up so well. It was fantastic. And then they said Force Unleashed 2 is coming out. Excuse me? And I think it's just because Force Unleashed just had amazing gameplay behind it. It was a very memorable game. I absolutely love it to this day. But then when Force Unleashed 2 came out, it was such a bullcrap concept to it. Hold on.
Oh, no.
Bullcrap concept! I haven't used that button in a while, so I had to do that.
Oh, jeez.
But It was. If you played Force Unleashed 2, I won't spoil it again. Actually, no, I won't. I won't. Because it does spoil Force Unleashed 2, or Force Unleashed the first one. But I think it was just begged for by the publishers, begged for by fans, and just turned into this hot mess where nobody wanted this, nobody asked for this.
Yeah.
And it was not necessary to do this. And I don't want to say anything else because I don't want to damage any other relationships that we might be having with any other guests that we're having. Spoiler alerts. But Liz, what do you think about that point? That it can't be just, forced upon by fans or publishers.
Yeah, because I feel like that happens so much these days. And especially, like you said, like with John Wick and even other movies. Right. I feel like they're just doing the sequels and everything like that because they know they can get money out of it.
Yeah.
I know people are going to hate this opinion. Pitch Perfect didn't need any sequels.
No, it did not.
It was good. First movie was great, and the rest of them
it was okay.
Just aren't necessary.
Yeah.
Your opinion doesn't count in this.
Oh.
But that's what I mean. Like, I feel like nowadays people are just like, well, we know people love it. We know we can get money from it. So why don't we just, make a second one? And it's never as good as the first one because the first one was a great original idea. Now you're just like making it because it'll make you money, and it's not a good reason.
Yeah, exactly.
So that's my opinion on it, is that it's not a good idea to just do it because, oh, well, fans want it. Oh, well, we can make money on it. No. Wait till you have a passion behind it. That's what makes good art. That's what makes good games. That's what makes good movies, good books, is that someone has a passion. Someone's like, I have a story to tell and this is how I'm going to tell it.
Yeah.
Not like, I had a story to tell and now everyone wants more, so I'm being pressured to write a new story. So I'm going to write a new story and it's got to be better than the first one. And I don't know if it's going to be better than the first one, but I'm going to write it. And then it's not as good as the first one because there wasn't as much passion. There was more stress behind it.
I agree with that.
So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. It's just like, I think fans can almost ruin like the expectations behind each story within the sequel to it, because if it's forced upon by publishers, if it's forced upon by moneymakers, if it's forced upon by fans, then the expectations just get so high for what it should be.
Mm-hmm.
And again, like I keep thinking about movie examples. We both keep coming up with movie examples. So I'm not going to try to, but I'm not going to say anything because it's going to be another movie example. And it's like, this is a gaming podcast. I understand that, but
we love movies.
We also love movies. But that's just it. Is that like I think our expectations can almost overpower the intended vision behind a sequel, even.
Yeah.
So let's say by chance, right, that a sequel or a follow-up or a spiritual successor is intended by a publisher, by a developer.